Xander Kyriakis, played by Daytime Emmy nominee Paul Telfer, has a ways to go to regain the trust of Sarah and others on Days of Our Lives. As Xander embarks on this journey, Telfer is displaying moments of vulnerability, anger, and wit. He's a treat to watch, and Soap Central is honoring the fan favorite with our Performer of the Week for Days feature. Xander got a little inebriated this week after he spied estranged wife Sarah dining out with Brady. Gabby attempted to get Xander to back off, but he was too far gone. Telfer knows that the best way for an actor to play drunk is to play against it. Xander acted as if everything was okay, and the reality is that Xander was unaware of just how sloppy he was getting. How could Xander know he was overstepping social etiquette when he felt he had his booze under control? It's easy to go over the top when the script calls for you to be drunk, but Telfer brought subtlety to his performance while still maintaining Xander's frustration. Nobody rips into Xander like Sarah does. She practically ordered Xander to seek help for his anger issues with Marlena. The good doctor informed her patient that his success would depend on how vulnerable he'd be willing to be. If that's true, we expect fast progress, as Telfer had Xander cut open a few veins. "I'm scared to death," he confessed with a tone of fear. "My temper. It's like it is its own entity. It's like it controls me." Telfer brings a sense of self-awareness to his powerful alter ego. Kudos to the Day's writers for remembering the instance in which Xander inadvertently harmed Marlena and pointing out how that might interfere with her ability to treat him. "I bet I'm your most hopeless case," Xander lamented. Outside of the safety of Marlena's office, Xander can quickly become biting with his remarks. Believing that Xander had betted Gwen, Sarah smacked her ex across the face. "And here I thought you abhorred violence," Xander snarked. "Maybe Dr. Evans can teach you a thing or two about anger management," Xander added. Telfer took Xander from being sarcastic to genuinely hurt after he learned that Sarah thought he'd had sex with Gwen. He confessed that they'd kissed, but he was genuinely aghast that Sarah would think that he'd betrayed their marriage vows. When Telfer delivers moments like that, it's clear that there's still a lot of love between Xander and Sarah. While Xander certainly wants to work on his anger issues, he's got a long way to go. He blamed Gwen for letting Sarah think that something more than a kiss occurred between them. In addition to having issues with his anger, still loving his ex, and being witty, Xander is also smart. He saw right through Gwen's claim that she was just trying to get a rise out of Sarah that would lead to a #Xara reunion. "What a load," Xander scoffed. "You knew damn well that's not the outcome you were hoping for." Telfer brings numerous levels to his character, often in the same Days of Our Lives scene. Bravo to the performer for his acting choices in these recent episodes, Days of Our Lives. Spoilers for the next 2 weeks, August 18th to August 29th, reveal that the true shooter will officially be revealed while Kristen DiMera scrambles to stop EJ DiMera. Brady Black will also grill Sarah Horton Kyriakis. So let's discuss what's coming up on DOOL. During the week of August 18-22, Chanel Dupree DiMera will get back on the stand for her cross-examination. Belle Black and Johnny DiMera will also share their closing statements now that Johnny will be representing himself. Meanwhile, it looks like EJ will finally manage to unlock his blocked memory. Days will show some flashbacks that explain everything, so there's a good chance Rachel Black will be revealed as the one who fired at EJ that night. Next, EJ and Marlena Evans will have a difficult decision about what to do next. Kristen will also gather some new clues elsewhere, so she seems poised to figure out that Rachel is responsible for EJ's shooting. It won't be long until Kristen is pleading with EJ to delay the inevitable. EJ won't want to cause any more pain to Rachel, but he may insist he has to tell the truth now and do whatever he can to clear Johnny's name. Marlena will entertain Rachel and try to keep her mind off the courtroom chaos, but Kristen is about to cause even more mayhem. Leo Stark will preside over jury deliberations before Johnny's trial comes to an explosive end. Since Kristen will cause such a massive disruption, she'll have to be physically restrained. Kristen will likely get arrested sooner or later, since all signs point to her trying to take the fall for Rachel's sake. Days spoilers say Kristen will eventually have a request from Marlena, so she may push Marlena to stay quiet about Rachel's guilt and just let her make this sacrifice for her daughter. Across town, Stephanie Johnson will have a problem with Steve Johnson digging into Alex Kyriakis' family business. Nevertheless, Steve will stick with the job he took and report back to Gabi Hernandez with updates on any dirt he finds. Other Days spoilers say Sarah will pressure Sophia Choi to come clean to Tate Black and everyone else about Tesoro being her baby boy. Sophia won't budge, so Sarah will land in a tight spot when Brady grills her later. Brady might spot Sarah with Sophia in an intense moment and wonder what's really going on. The week of August 25-29 will bring more struggles for Sarah. As Sarah and Brady grow closer, it'll definitely leave her feeling guilty about hiding his grandson from him. As for Chad DiMera and Kat Green, they may have some obstacles ahead thanks to Chad's confusion about James, aka Rafe Hernandez. Back with Gabi, she'll use Philip Kyriakis to her advantage. It looks like Gabi will catch Philip in a vulnerable moment and work just the right angle. Gabi will hope to score inside Titan info from Philip, but the seduction part of all this may go further than she intended. Philip and Gabi are about to hit the sheets together, so they'll have a lot to unpack. Days of Our Lives spoilers say the next 2 weeks will bring some shockers and shakeups, so stick with us for news on all the turmoil. Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal that abusive Jeremy Horton may hunt down Stephanie Johnson. Will Stephanie's ex recognize some personal book details and come looking for her? Stephanie was hesitant to open the package that showed up at her apartment because she feared a former flame sent it to her. Although Stephanie didn't specify which one, she wanted to leave this mystery guy in the past. Of course, it turned out to be a false alarm since the package was just a tote bag that Stephanie forgot she ordered. In the end, Stephanie realized she'd just had this old boyfriend on her mind and guessed that was why she assumed the worst. However, Days is clearly setting the stage for this old boyfriend's DOOL return. That's especially true since Philip Kyriakis recognized some of the content from One Stormy Night based on his personal experience with Stephanie. Philip figured out that Anastasia Sands was Stephanie's pseudonym and guessed that some of her other exes might do the same. There's a good chance this is all building to Jeremy Horton realizing Stephanie wrote about him. Stephanie panicked over a particular part of the book she wanted to remove, but it looks like it'll get published anyway and leave her freaking out all over again. Once Jeremy reads it, he may get fixated on Stephanie and decide to track her down in Salem. We know Michael Rourke will make his first day's appearance in a mysterious role during the first week of October. Since it's already almost August, the timing fits for Stephanie's storyline to set up Rourke's debut as a Jeremy Horton recast. There have already been some Days insider rumblings about Rourke playing Jeremy, so this is just further proof that it's happening. Jeremy was abusive to Stephanie and left quite a trail of crimes before his exit in 2007, so he's not someone she's eager to welcome back into her life. Nevertheless, it sounds like Jeremy's coming whether Stephanie likes it or not. Jeremy may insist that he's changed once he re-enters the picture, but will that really be true? Will Jeremy become obsessed with Stephanie and make Alex Kyriakis his rival? Days of Our Lives spoilers say Stephanie will get updates on some alarming ex-boyfriend news sooner or later, so stay tuned to see if Jeremy will shake things up. Well, Belle wasn't happy with what EJ had done to her in court when he asked Johnny to tell everyone what kind of relationship he and Belle had. She's not going to let that go, but she might forgive him down the road. Through the hypnosis, EJ recalled that the shooter was female. But, and I think I speculated on this last week, Marlena said she didn't think EJ could go any further with the hypnosis because whoever shot him was someone so close that his mind would break if they tried to smash through the walls. It was revealed throughout the week that Marlena seems to know who the shooter was, and I think it's going to turn out to be Rachel. Holly and Tate finally slept together, so that was a big step forward for them. But it's looking like Tate and Sophia may have an attraction that could increase if the whole baby secret comes out, and they end up having to take care of the child together. Ultimately, Johnny fired EJ because he believed that the video of Chanel threatening EJ was a deepfake. But will EJ manage to talk his way out of that next week? Stay tuned to find out. I still don't understand why Belle couldn't appreciate EJ's tactic to try and cause a mistrial. Maybe when she eventually cools down, they'll be talking over drinks, and she'll admit that it was a great move. Rachel turning out to be the shooter might be a good idea, but is it realistic? In order to squeeze the trigger on a gun, you have to have a modicum of strength. This would have thrown her accuracy way off, and she wouldn't have been able to get him in the chest. Rachel's a little kid, so while she was trying to squeeze off a shot, EJ would have had time to duck for cover. But, assuming she was able to shoot it, perhaps by cocking the hammer first, what about the angle? She's a kid, so she's much shorter than EJ. Wouldn't forensics have noticed that the path the bullet took was an upward one? That would show that the shooter was much shorter than him. However, if I'm recalling this correctly, I believe EJ was seated. Thus, Rachel would have been more in line with EJ's chest, which could explain how she hit him with accuracy. Amy mentioned that Tesoro resembled Sophia's brother, Cooper. Was it revealed before that she had a brother? We're starting to get more nuggets about Javi's past with a baby. Ever since we saw him looking at a photo of himself holding a baby and then being sad after seeing it, I've been eager to find out more about that story. This week, Javi shared his thoughts with Rafe about Sophia, but figured the timeline was off and she couldn't be the baby's mother. He then sadly said he felt for her, which reminded Rafe of the time he had to give up David. He then said, "But that's nothing compared to what you went through." Javi responded, "Yeah, it seems like a lifetime ago." Rafe responded, "Never goes away, does it?" What happened? Did Javi have a baby with someone who died? Later, we got another clue about Javi's past with a baby when he was talking to Ari, who was praising her dads. She said they were the best girl dads and added, "Just like you would have been." So now we know that the baby in Javi's past was female. He thanked her for saying that, and she suddenly felt bad for bringing it up. He told her it was okay and said, "It's not like I don't think about her all the time." He told her he didn't want Leo to know about it because it was too hard to explain. Leo called Javi from a payphone. I feel like I shouldn't have to explain this, but for those younger viewers who are reading this, long before cell phones, people had hardwired phones in their houses. Outside of the home, payphones were everywhere. All you had to do was toss a dime or a quarter in, and you could call someone almost anywhere. Do I need to explain what coins are now? When Paulina was talking to Chanel and Johnny about the deepfake video of Chanel threatening EJ, the mayor told them about the time someone cut and pasted her head on the body of the Monopoly man. For those who don't know, Monopoly is a classic board game where players buy, trade, and develop properties while trying to bankrupt their opponents through rent collection and strategic financial management. The Monopoly man is a short guy with a handlebar mustache and monocle. Although some people believe the timeline has changed because when you look at game boxes, even from the past, he doesn't have the monocle. Must be a Mandela effect. Right off the bat this week, Sarah was angry at Xander for showing some PDA when Gabby kissed him at the bistro. So, she turned around and kissed Brady, enraging Xander, who tried to punch his nephew. But Brady was ready for him, blocked Xander's punch with his left arm, and smacked him in the chest with his right, sending him backwards. The look of sheer anger on Xander's face was truly frightening. It did look a tad choreographed, but it was still fun nonetheless. After Brady deflected Xander's attack, Sarah said, "Well, your boxing skills look sharp. Been training?" Brady doesn't really answer her, and instead says, "That man's a menace, and he's lucky that Gabby got him out of here when she did." After the fight, Gabby lit into Xander, saying, "Not only did you try to sucker punch Brady in front of your estranged wife and a room full of witnesses, but you got us kicked out like a couple of losers." After EJ smashed his hand, Gwen said to him, "You Damaras, you've got every medication under the sun in this mausoleum, including some very strange medical bag labeled property of Dr. Rolfe, which I don't even want to ask about. But yet I can't seem to find a single bottle of ibuprofen anywhere." EJ's response was, "Father taught us to embrace the pain. Plus, we're usually the ones creating the headaches." Marlena explained to Belle that while she can't stand EJ, she was willing to do hypnosis on him if it meant helping Johnny. Belle then said, "Well, I mean, maybe after you get EJ to remember who shot him, you could hypnotize him into walking into traffic." Marlena pretended to get frustrated and yelled, "Darn! I don't have that kind of power." Belle's response was, "Shucks." I didn't think many people used that word much these days. Gabby was pissed that she and Xander got kicked out of the bistro and weren't welcome there for the foreseeable future. Xander's reaction was, "Oh no! How will we go on without overcooked beef and overpriced wine?" Brady was telling Gabby about how John always fought for justice. Gabby said, "Everyone in Salem thought that John Black was responsible for saving the world." Brady smirked and replied, "He actually did that on more than one occasion." EJ was shocked that Belle stated he was as bad as Stefano. She then said, "Oh, you're worse. He never tried to hide who and what he was. But you pretend to have a soul." Leo was telling Javi that he was frustrated because he couldn't discuss Johnny's trial, then stated, "I thought that jury duty was going to be a total snooze fest." He then explained he found it riveting and added, "I was never really into true crime. I always found it to be a little too murdery. But now I totally get it. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up making a movie out of this. The People vs. John Roman DeMera. I wonder who they'll get to play me." Leo then explained to Javi, "I shouldn't be juror number 9, just some anonymous yet exquisitely moisturized face in the crowd." He felt he should have been covering the trial as the Spectator's star reporter. When the judge told the court that the jury would be sequestered, Leo jumped up and shouted, "Objection!" The judge just looked at him and he sheepishly retracted it, saying, "Withdrawn," and slunk back down into his seat. Gwen strolled into the living room and EJ simply said, "Gwen?" She reacted, "Someone in this house has actually greeted me." She then touched her upper chest in shock and stated, "Perhaps I'm not invisible after all." An angry Gwen told Xander that from now on, she was going to stay away from him and from Sarah. She then said, "Have a nice life, stupid tosspot." Tosspot, a great word that I hadn't heard before, is a British word that means an obnoxious person. I'll have to add that to my vernacular. In perhaps one of the most heartbreaking scenes I've seen in a long time, Holly and Tate were being all lovey-dovey. And when they walked away, it was revealed that Sophia had walked out of a shop and saw them. She just dropped her head, and it was so sad. She's definitely proved her amazing acting chops, because later Ariana helps raise her spirits, and she seemed overjoyed. Rachel Boyd has a bright future ahead of her. Through happenstance, Javi has been bumping into Sophia often. He's starting to put the pieces together that Tesoro might be her baby. I like that because while everybody else has been thrown for a loop by her supposedly giving the baby to an adoptive couple, no one is questioning it or looking into it. But Javi's an objective observer, and it's cool to see the gears in his head moving every time something pops up that raises a question about her baby. The best part about that was that they allowed Javi to have a moment of thought. He just looked into space, trying to figure it all out. And I thought that was a nice touch because everything is so rushed these days. It was nice to give him a moment to put everything together in his head. Belle walking in on Tate and Holly in bed was simultaneously hilarious and awkward. Thankfully, she didn't flip her lid and just calmly told Tate not to do that at the house again. I laughed out loud during the walk-in. I'm convinced that the baby in Javi's past died. But this being a soap, odds are that they're setting things up and the child will somehow come to Salem a little grown, and it will be a whole shocking storyline. The interactions between Leo and another juror named Adam were hilarious. Since the jury was sequestered, they were put up at the Salem Inn, and Adam and Leo were forced to become roomies. Adam can't stop talking about inane things, and at one point, Leo wondered aloud if there were any tranquilizers in one of the hotel room's drawers. In trying to find something to occupy their time, Adam suggested they play cards. No. Listen, every time someone tries to explain a card game to me, my soul leaves my body. In fact, my therapist suggests I stay away from all card games. I have that very same affliction. Days of Our Lives spoilers are in for the week of August 18th, 2025. Fans can expect Sarah Horton-Kyriakis to get questioned. Sophia Choi is pressured to confess. Plus, Steve Johnson has an update for Gabby Hernandez. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the Peacock soap opera. Let's start off with Sarah, who is keeping a huge secret. The good doctor knows the truth about Sophia's baby. While she agreed to keep quiet, she has been getting closer to Brady Black. The lady has also seen firsthand how tormented Tate Black is about the baby. As the week progresses, Sarah's guilt could get to her. In fact, by the end of the week, expect Sarah to get questioned by Brady. Meanwhile, Sophia is starting to crack under all the secrecy, guilt, and pressure. However, each time the teenager thought about confessing, Melinda Trask had a solution for every problem. Sophia can't take it anymore, so the secret needs to come out soon. On Friday's episode, expect Sarah to encourage Sophia to fess up. Days of Our Lives spoilers for the week of August 18th reveal that Steve provides Gabby with an update. That same day, Alex Kyriakis tries to hire Stephanie Johnson. Does Alex expect her to smooth out his reputation after news about his crime surfaces? If Steve found it, then others could discover it next. That could end up affecting Alex's career if anyone makes a fuss about it. Fans will also see Gabby apologize to Xander Cook Kyriakis. Chanel Dupree DeMera is cross-examined at Johnny DeMera's trial. That same day, E.J. DeMera and Belle Black make their closing statements. Elsewhere, the shooter is finally revealed. It must be Rachel Black. It is stated that Kristen DeMera can't ignore facts. The next day, she begs E.J. for more time. That same day, Marlena Evans distracts Rachel. Then, on Friday, Kristen turns to Marlena for help while E.J. prepares to tell the truth. Also, Philip Kyriakis tells Belle she deserves better than E.J. Leo Stark and the jurors vote. Plus, Chad DeMera gets even closer to Kat Green. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of August 18th, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Keep watching the soap on Peacock to find out what happens next. What's ahead for this Salem super couple? Days of Our Lives. Spoilers photos for the August 18th, 2025 episode tease a curious moment between Steve and Kayla. Steve and Kayla meet at the pub, and there's plenty for the couple to talk about. When Steve and Kayla wind up at the pub, will Steve update his wife on the case against the Kyriakises? He already learned that Alex's past crimes were small and mostly innocent, so he needs to dig up new dirt in order to help Gabby and Titan DeMera. As for Kayla, it looks like she may have her tablet in hand. Is she about to indulge in the next chapter of One Stormy Night? Unbeknownst to her that the steamy novel is written by her daughter, Days of Our Lives spoilers are in for Monday, August 18th, 2025. Fans can expect E.J. DeMera to have a total meltdown with Tony DeMera. Steve Johnson and Kayla Johnson unite. Also, Gabby Hernandez issues an apology to Xander Cook Kyriakis. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the next episode of the Peacock soap opera. Let's start off with Chanel Dupree DeMera. The baker went on the stand and testified at Johnny DeMera's trial. Even though Johnny begged his father to take it easy on Chanel, there was another twist. Chanel saw the video that showed her threatening E.J., but claims she never said those things. Johnny will want to focus on protecting his wife. However, Chanel will insist that her husband should focus on clearing his own name. At some point, E.J. takes a break from court and ends up back at the DeMera mansion. While there, E.J. will have an interaction with Tony. However, it is stated that E.J. will end up having a total meltdown with his brother. Tony might want to discuss the future of the family business. Tony hasn't been able to get the family members on board with his plan. Chad DeMera is busy with The Spectator, and E.J. has his hands full with Johnny's trial. Days of Our Lives. Spoilers for Monday, August 18th reveal that Steve will continue to be troubled. Fans know that Steve came across Alex Kyriakis' criminal history. However, Steve already confronted Alex, who had a wild story about his frat years. While the story could be true, there is just something that feels off. In any case, Steve turns to Kayla with his problem. The two will put their heads together to come up with a solution. I wonder if this has to do with Stephanie Johnson. Plus, Gabby issues an apology to Xander Cook Kyriakis. It's true that Gabby was trying to pry intel from Xander. However, they actually have a nice dynamic, so could it go somewhere beyond colleagues and friendship? Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most on Monday, August 18th, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Keep watching the soap on Peacock to find out what happens next. Expect investigations, corporate wars, and courtroom chaos on Days of Our Lives. Johnny's trial takes a dramatic and unexpected turn. and Kristen is at the center of it, according to the Days of Our Lives spoilers. Meanwhile, things hit too close to home when a father delves into his daughter's boyfriend's company, and another Salemite considers a surprise business move. Here's your day's video preview for the week of August 18 to 22, 2025. A concerned Stephanie confronts her father, Steve, about his latest PI assignment. "You're investigating his company," she points out, referring to her boyfriend Alex's family business, Titan DeMira. Later, Alex addresses the situation with Xander. "Is there something in those filings to worry about?" he asks him. Gabby, who's conspiring with Tony to reclaim DeMira from the Kiriakis family, has a meeting with him at the mansion. Tony lays out exactly what he expects from her as she signs some paperwork. "Bring Titan to its knees, and the DeMira CEO job is yours," he promises. Julie stops by the Salem bookshop and questions Foster about the status of his business. "Have you had any more bids?" inquires Julie. "What are you getting at?" responds Foster. "I know the perfect person to buy this store," notes Julie. Things take a dramatic turn during Johnny's trial, following EJ's antics. "He crossed the line," opens up Belle to her mother, Marlena. Johnny takes a hard stand regarding his father representing him. "I had you removed from this case," he informs EJ. Meanwhile, EJ meets with Marlena and acknowledges that the maneuvers he's made have tossed things into a tailspin. "My God, the lives I've altered," says EJ, knowing that everyone's future hangs in the balance. Later, Kristen bursts into the courtroom, yelling that she needs to approach the bench, while Johnny, Marlena, Chanel, and Paulina look on stunned. Then she screams out, "No!" as the bailiff restrains her. Will she get the chance to speak up or be carted away? It all leads back to EJ's shooting. The truth about EJ's shooting is taking center stage this week. Don't miss these 3 major moments on Days of Our Lives. It's been a long few months of wondering which of EJ's many enemies shot him. Everyone from his son to his sister to his lover. Finally, all will be revealed on Tuesday when the identity of the shooter comes to light. This will put an end to Johnny's trial, which is said to have an unexpected conclusion. With several suspects still as possible culprits, only time will tell what twist lies ahead in the Who Shot EJ story. Meanwhile, the list of people who know Sophia's baby secret is slowly but surely growing. Not only does her lawyer, Melinda, know that Sophia left the baby boy at the fire station, but now so does her doctor, Sarah. On Thursday, look for Sarah to urge Sophia to come clean to Tate about what really happened. However, both Sophia and Melinda are determined to keep it a secret. So could Sarah be setting herself up for trouble? Midweek, Kristen is said to try ignoring the facts, presumably of EJ's shooting. She just took the stand, and so did a young Rachel. Many have wondered if Rachel was secretly the shooter all along, and teasers suggest that theory has become even more plausible. Although she's no longer playing Teresa Donovan on Days of Our Lives, Jen Lilly has continued to share details of her personal life with her legion of devoted fans. Whether she's dealing with Christmas issues or starring in heartwarming romances on the Hallmark Channel, her life off-screen is as full of adventure as her roles on screen, and the fans know it. Recently, she traded in her scripts and sets for sandy shores and ocean breezes, sharing her fun in the sun with her dedicated followers. Former Days of Our Lives star Jen Lilly wrote simply on Instagram, "Salt and sun and so much fun. #Hawaii, #Maui. Along with that, she shared 3 beautiful beach pics. The first was of one of her running toward the beach as the waves rolled in. Next was a picture of both her and one of her daughters posing in front of the ocean. Up third was a photo that captured the beach, but this time it was framed by the twisting, gnarled branches of a tree in the foreground. The horizon melded with the blue sky that was dotted with some wispy clouds, creating a serene and inviting atmosphere. And last was a pic of Lily herself, fresh from the ocean and kneeling on the beach with a big smile on her face. At Purple Lark Socks 33 asked, "Oh, you two are gorgeous. Looks like so much fun. Is the water freezing?" They didn't get an answer, but considering it's Maui, the water was definitely not cold. Fan at DonWayne7 gushed, "2 peas in paradise where the scenery is breathtaking and the women are pretty." At Dradoland truly got the relaxing vibe from Lily's pics as they posted. What an amazing girl trip! You girls look relaxed, happy, and stress-free. Nothing to worry about except what to eat. The former Days of Our Lives star really struck a chord with the fans who enjoyed the beautiful beach pics. At Love and Blessings always happily commented, "So happy you are having fun. Gorgeous photos, beautiful doll, big love and hugs." While at Hallgirl7 wrote, "This is so awesome, Jen. I want to go to Hawaii with you." A fan going by, Unknown Legend 86, responded to the post with, "It was nice to meet you at the airport." And Lily replied to them, "At Unknown Legend 86, you too. Thanks for saying hello." Lily's fans gushed over the amazing pics and loved her fabulous bathing suit. At Stefter Media tried to guess specifically where the photos were taken, speculating, "My guess, Olawalu, past the Palai Tunnel on the way to Lahaina." Whether they were correct, we'll probably never know, but it's nice to see Lily enjoying her best life.